How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Invest in the Zeke. So we're going to talk about Tilray. Yep, we're going to talk about Tilray. So Tilray came out with earnings. I listened to the conference call 3 times. Why did I listen to it 3 times? Because I thought maybe I missed something. Like maybe if you listen to it backwards, like a rock and roll album or some shit, maybe you might hear something that you might like, so I just was trying different things, trying to see, what others were seeing. Of course, the biggest YouTubers in this space were telling their audience to buy and load up because of technicals. I tried to stop him, but, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. So then I listened to it on my own to make sure, I was hearing what I was hearing. And you know what I realized? It was what I wasn't hearing that was the big issue. Now, I've been following Mr. Simon from Tilray, for probably about 3 years. And this call was different. Like, you know how I like to think that I can kind of read people? The way I read this was, I don't think he'll be around much longer. Like, I don't think so let's get off into why I feel this way, and let's get off into the good things, the bad things, and if I still own this stock. So Irwin comes out, right, and he's like, number 1 in wax, number 1 in edibles, number 5 in pre-rolls, number 1 in medical, number 5 in beer, like number 1 in everything, right? Goes off this impressive list on what he always does. Number 1 in Germany, number 1 in the UK. Like, how he's always number 1, right? So we're all pumped up. I'm like, okay, Irwin. And, everybody's like, buy at that point, right? All right. So then good old Carl comes on. Who's Carl? Carl's the CFO. He's the financial guy. And he comes on, and I shit you not. So he comes on and he's like, we missing revenue, EPS, guidance, anything in the near future. We miss my daughter's graduation. We miss everything. They literally miss everything known to man. And I got to thinking. I was like, right then and there, I was like, you know what this reminds me of? Charge Point. Why is it that a guy up the street can actually make more money than your whole company? And then they come out with these excuses. And that's one other thing I hate. And you know what it is? Well, the taxes. We got competitors that aren't getting taxed the way we are. And it's not fair. Like, we're getting bullied. And there's no insider buying. Not only is there no insider buying, but like I said, I've been following Irwin for quite some time. I actually thought that this was going to be a decent call, because just a couple of months ago, he was saying, why would I need to dilute shareholders? We're profitable. I see us being profitable for the future. Well, he wasn't given that same energy. He wasn't given that same energy at all. But I mean, yes, you're growing 30% organically in growth. Well, you know what? What's 30% of nothing? So you're growing 30% times 0. What does that mean? What does that mean, Irwin? So, I mean, I like the fact that they're well positioned in the U.S. They use that as a big strong point. However, they give no guidance to if something were to happen, legally, on how much they could make. You know what he said? He's like, we get 80 million last quarter. Okay. Like, that's what you're really this stressed about. But I do also like that they're really focusing on water and energy drinks. This isn't a pure, MJ play. I mean, this is morely a medical, beer, energy drink type play. That's about what Tilray stands at, in my opinion. But, I mean, yes, you got some positive things to look for. Let me see if I can find anything else. I do like how they're always coming out with innovative products, and that's something that ChargePoint didn't do. Of course, we're talking about 2 different industries, but the comparison of ChargePoint was in control of like 80% of the charging stations. What did that mean? It meant absolutely nothing, and they're about to go bankrupt. But I mean, they got the fifth largest beer brand in the U.S., 1,300 pharmacies in Germany. They're really focused on their debt, they say. However, you got 1,300 pharmacies in Germany. What are they selling? Like a stick of gum? Like, you're not making any money off the shit. Like, I don't understand. But I mean, the big problem. Well, let's just get to the big problem. The numbers were a failure. The earnings call was a D. I mean, if you just take the earnings call, all right, you can give it a C minus. But I mean, I wouldn't even give it more than that. Why did I hate this earnings call so much? That's a good question. Well, why I hated this earnings call so much was just a few months ago, Irwin was talking about not diluting shareholders. And what does he continuously do? Dilute the crap out of shareholders. Like, and you could make an argument that it wasn't as bad until Irwin got there. I mean, it looked like in the middle of his conference call, he went ahead and did another 754 million shares issued to the market. Now, you look back, and, they weren't that bad back in the day. 75, 93, 98. And then here comes big old Irwin, big old greedy Irwin. Let's issue 242 shares. Let's issue 270. All right, let's just fuck it, I guess. Let's go to 612. Let's do 731. And then why not, when I wake up before earnings, go ahead and issue 754 million shares to the market. Thanks a lot, Irwin. That's great. What did I decide to do? I'm about to tell you. So I cut my Tilray position all the way down to about 2% of my portfolio, and I threw all of my MJ capital that I'm okay with gambling with, because that's what this is. And this got me thinking. Like, maybe that's why other big YouTubers just don't talk about MJ's a joke. You want to know why it's a joke? Because it's a fucking joke. That's why it is. So anyway, what MJ is an ETF that has all these trash ass MJ companies in it. This is like, you throw them all together and have Jesus sort them out. That's what I'm doing. Even though I could literally single-handedly pick all of these and put them in a portfolio, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. All right. Now, why am I still dealing with this? Well, that's a good question, because honestly, I probably shouldn't be. I was thinking that, our president that we have now, which has wanted to do this, for many, many years, but he's busy. I don't know what's going on. He hasn't sent the right emails. He hasn't, got back to the right people. I know they were talking to Fat Joe a couple weeks ago. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I don't think that this is a priority for them. And it definitely isn't if Big T-Man gets in office. So, I'm keeping it a very small position because, like I said, I do think that this is one of the only ways that, he saves his skin, especially, if he can get reelected again, President Biden. I think he has to start making some sort of moves after this war that was just launched. This seems really, really minor. However, I'm going to keep my position in it because I'm going to just keep it to a low, and I'm going to keep it with MJ. And, I'm not going to I'm probably still going to listen to Tlry every so often. But, I just couldn't do it. Guys, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe I missed something in that call, but I don't really care if I have. When you go out and you start diluting by the millions, the way just ruthlessly, and then not actually even we were asking this question. Are you done diluting shareholders? I was in there voting on all these questions that were all at the top of the chart. And the fact that you just blindly went over them and didn't even say, we're done. I could see this reverse splitting. I could see Tilray reverse splitting and practically maybe then after Irwin's gone, so we got about 4 more years left. Like, it is looking like we probably got 4 more years left before we can even consider this. So, slow and steady. That's how I'm adding it. Anyway, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.